Hi, second graders. Today we are working on lesson 9.3, and this is going to be a 2-day lesson because it's an open response activity. So whatever we work on today, you're going to save and work on it a little bit more tomorrow. Let's start with some mental math and fluency. You can get a sheet of paper if you'd like, or maybe you're able to just think about these problems and how you might group friendly numbers together to solve them. So take a minute. And if you want to pause the video, you can, and then we're going to talk about each one. So the first one is 10 plus 12 plus 10. So maybe pause it, think about it, and I'm going to explain my own personal strategy. The way I might solve this is I think that 10 and 10 can easily be added together. So 10 plus 10 very quickly I know is 20 plus 12, which is another 10 and a 2, so that makes 32. Okay, let's try the next one. 12 plus 18 plus 10. What might be some friendly numbers you would group together to add this mentally? You can pause it, you can write it down on a sheet of paper, or just work it out in your head. 12 and 18 are pretty friendly numbers because I know the 2 and the 8 make a 10. So this would be 30 plus another 10 quickly gives me 40. Okay, let's try another one. 13 plus 17 plus 12. What are two friendly numbers that you might group together? And think about different ways you can make tens using the numbers in the ones place. Well, I know that 13 and 12, I can add them together. I know the 2 and the 3 make 5, but then that doesn't make it easy to add 17. So I'm not going to group them together. I'm going to look for ways to make a 10 with my ones place. So I'm going to add 13 plus 17 together. I know the 7 and the 3 quickly make 10, plus a 10 here and a 10 here, that makes 30, plus 12 gives me 42. So it's always good to kind of practice some mental math and think about your strategies. You could always add these by stacking them. You could group them in another way, but it's always kind of easiest if you look for ways to make groups of 10. Okay, that was our warm-up. Let's get started on the math message. So you should have read today's math message on page 225. We're going to read it again and talk about it. Maybe you talked about your thinking with an adult at home, or a stuffed animal, or the computer screen. And what we're going to do is read it together, and then I'll just talk about what my ideas are, and you can compare them to yours. An art project. A teacher is preparing to cut a piece of construction paper into 3 equal shares to use it in an art project. The teacher drew dotted lines to guide the cuts. So this is the teacher's sheet of paper, and the teacher drew 2 dotted lines to make 3 equal shares. 2 children are talking about the paper. Jalen says, the paper is 3/3. Layla says, no, it's not. It's 1 whole. Who is correct? Talk with your partner about your ideas. So take a minute if you haven't solved this yet. Get out your math journal, turn to page 225 and get started. If you have, we're going to talk about it together. So what I did is I took the sheet of paper and I labeled each part. So this part, this share would be 1/3 or 1/3. And it would be 1/3 because there are 3 parts and I'm having one of them. This is one out of those 3 parts. This share down here would also be 1/3. And this share down here would be 1/3. Each of them is an equal share, and the paper is broken into 3 parts, so each share is 1/3. So I kind of thought about it like that. And then I thought, well, they're talking about 3/3 and a whole. So how else could I look at this sheet of paper? And so I thought to myself, well, this is 1/3, and then this is another third, that makes 2/3, and this is another third, so there are 3/3 here. The whole is 3/3. And I say 3/3 is 1 whole because remember, if this student got this third, this student got this third, and another student got this third, the whole paper would be used. 3/3 is the same as 1 whole. So when we talk about one share, we'd say 1/3. When we talk about all the shares, we would say 1/2 or 3/3. So really, they're both correct. Let's talk about today's open response. So today you should have printed 2 pages called Sharing Muffins. There's going to be 2 questions that you're asked to work on. And I'm going to read the questions to you and talk about the expectations. And then I just want you to try and work on them. And tomorrow we'll look at some sample answers and we'll make some changes and updates if we need to correct our work or add anything to our work. Sharing muffins. Anna and Sammy want to share 3 muffins. 1, 2, 3. So there's 2 people, Anna and Sammy, sharing 3 muffins. Use the circles below to show how they can share the muffins fairly. So you want to draw on these circles to show how they can use the muffins fairly. And maybe you do it one time and it's not working out. You could always draw 3 more circles, okay, if that's easier so you can see your work, or you can erase. I would recommend drawing 3 new circles just to try out a new way. Then you want to describe in words how much is in each child's share. So you want to use language like on the equal shares poster that we had when we started this unit, okay? And those words look something like 1/3 or 1/2. You want to label the parts with words, okay? So our expectations for today: you want to show your work and your thinking with a drawing, so with the muffins. You want to use words to describe how much muffin is in one child's share. So how much does Anna get, or how much does Sammy get? And you want to make your work clear enough that someone else would understand your thinking. Okay? Then there's another problem. 4 children now want to share 5 muffins. Show how they can share the muffins fairly. Also, describe in words how much is in each child's share. So 4 children are sharing 5 muffins. The expectations are the same. You need to show your work and thinking with a drawing. So if this were me and I was making the drawing, I would make the 5 muffins. And just like the question before, I would just draw a simple circle, okay, as my muffins. If it's easier for you, something else I might do instead of circles, sometimes it makes it easier to compare and break it up, is I might draw my muffins as rectangles. So I might draw 5 rectangles, and I'm gonna put them over here. So you want to make some type of drawing to show how 4 children are going to share the muffins. Whether you make circles or rectangles, you want the picture to show what you're thinking, okay? Then you have to use words to describe how much muffin is in one child's share, and you want to make your work clear enough that someone else would understand your thinking. So these are the 2 problems that you're working on today, and make sure you save them because tomorrow we're going to go back through and review some sample answers and revise our work and make some changes. Good luck!